are going to transition now into our interview with with John Van Cleef. John Van Cleef is the CEO of the Community Resource Center. And to kind of introduce what the Community Resource Center does, we thought we would play for you a video from last year's CBAD Awards. They were our winner for the Community Impact Nonprofit category last year. And so we want to take a moment and show you that video from 2019 and as we lead into this time together. So Carolina, take it away.
Community Resource Center was founded in 1979, and since its inception, it's been helping address the issues of hunger, homelessness, and hurting people in North Coastal County. We work with people who are seeking nutritious food and need that to be a part of their life. We work with people who are trying to find stable housing, and the other work we do with hurting people, men, women, children who are escaping domestic violence. The CRC resale store is an exciting part of our program because it serves the community in multiple ways. There are people who love to come to the resale store as destination shopping. And there are people who shop at our resale store because it provides them an affordable option for clothing and items that we sell. But above and beyond that, anything that is donated and sold at our resale store, all of the proceeds go back into supporting the programs that CRC provides. So when there's a sale, it helps feed a hungry person, it helps provide shelter for someone who's homeless, and it helps people who are leaving domestic violence escape and find a safe place to be. The legacy of CRC is that it was born in this community by members of this community to meet the needs of people in this community. And when I think about CRC, I want to make sure that it is, as it celebrates its 40th birthday, that it exists well beyond these 40 years to continue expressing the compassion and concern our community has for people who are at risk.
All right, well, that was a nice introduction, John. Go ahead and unmute your mic there. And, you know, I love how you phrase that you guys help people with hunger, homelessness, and hurting. So tell us a little bit about, you know, the video is a nice introduction. Tell us a little bit about what CRC is all about.
Really, thank you, first of all, for the chance to be here and speak with you today. I'm grateful. One of the phrases we've heard a lot in the last 2 months is essential. And so if we were to put it in the context of the modern phrases we're hearing, is CRC provides essential services. You know, for the years leading up to this historic challenge and during this historic challenge, we know that food is an essential thing that people need to have so that they can have basic survival. We know that shelter is a thing that people need so they can not just have basic survival, but have a place to shower and you know, base a life from. And we know that living in safe homes, you know, people who are living in situations of domestic violence or have survived those kinds of situations, we know that safe homes are essential for people to be able to thrive and grow. And so it really is about essential services to people who are at risk or vulnerable in our community.
That's great. And so this morning on the news, they announced that, you know, the jobless claims or the unemployment claims have gone up now to, I think it's 39 million, I believe, total. So how are you guys seeing that impacted in the services you provide? Are you seeing increased numbers coming your way for services?
We are. Since the middle of March, we've provided over 2,100 households with meals. So we're giving out meals on a daily basis. Just today, I was actually processing through, you know, good old check signing. I signed 28 checks totaling over $32,000 for rental assistance. And so that need is very real. And that one is going to become more real as rent deferrals come due. And people are waiting to find a job, get back to work, and and so the rent assistance is important. Probably one of the most heartbreaking things that I've seen and we've experienced with COVID-19, and this is not local to us, it's an international tragedy, but we have seen a 36% increase month to month in calls to our domestic violence hotline. We know that people who are being abused are more isolated than they were before March. And we know that abusers are experiencing more stressors and triggers and being able to exercise more control over their environments. And with the uncertainty and instability that people are facing, we know of people who have returned to an unsafe home because at least they have food and shelter, and that's very scary. So certainly, these needs have existed before COVID-19, and if I were to give one word explanation, I think COVID-19, the shelter in place, the economic impact and long-term recovery, it has amplified the vulnerability of people. And we're seeing more and more people who were economically vulnerable before, and now they are at a place where they're starting to reach out for help.
Yeah, I think that's one of the possibly underreported facets of the whole stay-at-home order, is that dynamic that you just mentioned about domestic violence increasing. And I had heard somewhere else a statistic about divorce filings kind of along that same trajectory up from this, just being forced into this confinement, so to speak, for this extended period of time. There's a mental health challenge to that isn't on the forefront of the discussion. We're all talking about the physical health of, trying not to get, especially the folks with underlying health conditions infected with COVID-19, but there's a mental health, reverse side of this that's very challenging.
Yeah, very much so. And again, this goes back to the essential needs, right? So many studies have shown that healthy food helps people's physical, mental, emotional health. And that a safe place and a stable place to sleep at night also helps. And of course, the reality of being able to sleep and be at home safely. All of those things play together into being a healthy, whole community.
Yeah, for sure. And so needs escalate. And so then you guys are trying to meet those escalated needs. But at the same time, I know you're also a nonprofit, like other nonprofits we just talked about. It's challenging to do the same fundraising activities that maybe you were accustomed to in the past. So talk to us about that. Did you have any fundraising events that had to be changed, adapted, canceled in any way? And how did you guys deal with that?
We did. We had our 25th annual English Tea benefiting our programs scheduled for April 4th. And, kind of in a quick pace, we had to adapt from a long-standing live event to a virtual event. And I'm happy to say that our supporters and people who attended that were very generous in responding to the virtual event, helping us accomplish the fundraising goal we had in place for that event so that we could serve people, now, but also for the long term. But we're looking ahead to this whole coming year, anticipating that the freedom to gather in large groups is going to be on hold for a while as we continue to monitor public health and safety. So we're like you with this event, we're looking ahead and looking at ways to adapt and modify so that we can connect the philanthropic intent of donors and things they care about and responding to these essential needs to the essential services that are being provided. Because even though we're not in person, this ability to connect socially, virtually is important for our well-being too, and our community quality of life.
Yeah, good point. And I know at first when this hit, there was this use of the term social distancing, but I've heard a lot of people shy away from that and move to physical distancing because we really do still need the social aspects we're social beings, we're social animals, so to speak, and we need to socialize for our health and well-being, but even while we need to do some physical distancing. So yeah, the fundraising aspect is very challenging. I mean, nonprofits, yours and all these wonderful ones that were our finalists today, and many, many others, you know, they're the ones that kind of are the boots on the ground, affecting lives. And then to have, you know, charitable events left and right that had to be canceled, postponed, reimagined, it's a big challenge for our nonprofit community, ourselves included. And, you know, everybody who's watching today, we hope that you, you know, continue to support the different charitable organizations that you're a part of, because that is such a big deal. So you know, you've mentioned that the rental assistance is probably going to escalate here in the near future. But in addition to that, what are some other things, other lessons, other takeaways from this just very weird time of COVID-19 that in the world of social services that you guys are taking away and now are thinking long-term that you need to be prepared for or adapt to? Anything you could share there?
Yeah, I think it's also not just the world of social services, but in line with our conversation, the world that we take away from this. And I actually have to quote a participant that we were recently helping. He was on his path to stability and work and job placement and finding a home. And he had a very fortunate opportunity to, his father left him a rental property. And he is now fixing up that rental property, has a place to live himself, and is making sure that other people who are vulnerable have a place to live. But this is what Andy said, and it's very profound. I see it every day now. If you strip away everything in the world, what do we have left? We have each other, and that's what really matters. And so as we work together as a community, it takes government, it takes the business sector, it takes the private sector, it takes the nonprofits all working together, because we need each other to be a healthy, balanced community. And as we look at not just the challenges of today in providing food and providing sheltering and providing safe places for people to live, that sense of we need each other, not just for this time right now, because it is so dramatic and challenging and demanding, but we need each other for the long term. Right? All of the economic models are affecting every sector of our community. Small businesses will be opening or not reopening at a slow rate. Small businesses will not be bringing back their whole workforce. Government revenue, city, county, state, federal, will be impacted, and how that trickles into the nonprofit sector. Philanthropists, you know, will be having to watch their money, and service organizations will have to be responsible in providing for people's need today, as well as 18 months from now. And so that sense that the greatest lesson that we knew, but the greatest lesson that we're reminded of, is we really do all need each other.
That's a great point. We are very interdependent, aren't we? You have it was mentioned in the little video, you have a resale shop in downtown Carlsbad. And so I'm assuming it hasn't been open much, if at all, but is it going to be able to be open now with the new order?
Yeah, we were very pleased about that order. That resale shop is not just an important part of, you know, our community life, but it helps sustains our programs with the proceeds from it. And so we have been planning with our staff the reopening, and we're targeting, looking ahead to the reopening within the next week or so.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Wonderful. And so how can people support you? People who want to help, you know, with your mission for hungry, homeless, and hurting, how can they support you?
Certainly, we do welcome the support of, you know, donors to CRC, whether it's treasure and people want to give financially, or food drives or those kind of donated drives. But we also have added to our webpage a link talking to landlords and identifying ways that they could potentially get in and help and become a part of the housing solution for people. And so as a community-based, North County community-based nonprofit, I say check out CRC. But I also have to acknowledge that there are many, many good nonprofit organizations in and around our community. And more than just giving to CRC, I do encourage support of a cause that gives you passion and a organization that represents your values of caring for other people, and look for ways that you can give. The value of the gift is not in the dollar amount. The value of the gift is in the transcendent nature that you are expressing your concern and compassion for another person through what you can give. And that's profound, and that is how we all show that we need each other. And that is how we can say we live in a great place, a great community that makes a difference in the lives of other people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very well said, and couldn't agree more. You know, we need to keep reaching out and supporting all our nonprofits that do such great work. You guys are obviously a big part of that. I want to thank you for taking time to come and share with us today, and thank you for the mission and all that you guys do in the community to help our vulnerable populations, and especially during this time of exasperated need. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Grateful to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you, John.